Hey guys, it's Fred. Thanks for joining me. As you listen to this next story here, if you're from Kentucky or if you've been watching any of mine and Sheila's videos on her channel, Hatfield McCoy Museum Adventures or FS Investigates, if you've been watching any of our videos on Kentucky State Police Trooper Johnny Edrington's death and death investigation, maybe you can relate to this story, or maybe how the family of Trooper Johnny Edrington feels. We'll catch up on the other end.
I mean, we're here now. We're almost 3 years later. I mean, what hope do you have?
At this point, I don't know. I don't know because so much has been covered up.
Imagine your loved one murdered and the case gone cold, but then you find out the main detective is the focus of a major scandal.
That's the reality for the family you're about to hear from tonight. Their case was handled by Jennifer DePonzio. She's married to an assistant police chief and for years repeatedly mishandled evidence in a lot of cases.
And then, as the mistakes piled up, DePonzio went on medical leave and retired. Ever since, she's claimed she's too unwell to testify. And even though we uncovered, she was actually working multiple jobs. At the beginning of this year, no one outside Phoenix PD knew about the mistakes.
But now, as ABC 15 Chief Investigator Dave Biscopine is about to reveal, it's causing a ripple effect throughout the legal system.
Up front, know that this really isn't about just one detective. It's about how police and prosecutors work to cover up, minimize, and hide what happened. The impact is being felt at every level. Unsolved cases, current cases, and past convictions. These are real life and death matters with real people dealing with the consequences. You're watching the end of an emotional interview. Is there anything else you guys just want to add? I don't really have anything else. I really appreciate this. And if not, that's okay.
I would like to show his picture.
Anthony Martin was 33 when he was murdered almost 3 years ago. That was the car, huh?
That was a car.
On January 25th, 2021, police thought they were responding to an accident. Instead, they found Anthony shot dead in this red Buick. The main case agent on scene, Detective Jennifer DePonzio. Did you feel like you were misled?
I know I was misled.
For almost 3 years.
This is Anthony's mother, Darlene, and his two sisters, Portia and Precious. They live across the country in Hudson, Wisconsin. Did you guys have any clue?
Not at all. We didn't even know her.
No clue that the detective in charge of solving Anthony's murder mishandled the case from the beginning. But as the months passed, they did start to get an uneasy feeling.
We were just kind of clueless as to what was going on with his case.
You felt like Detective Ponzo left you in the dark.
Yes, she did.
We obtained internal records, logs, emails, and notes. But it's a page and a half of problems. And we showed the family details they'd never seen, like this internal 6-month review to check in on Anthony's case. DePonzio's supervisor outlined a long list of problems with her investigation. A botched search warrant, missing warrants, missing reports, missing interviews, including interviews from witnesses the night of the murder. It was also the exact day of that 6-month case review when DePonzio went on medical leave, never to return. Anthony's murder was then assigned to a new detective.
Is anything going to happen? Is it going to go any further? Or is it just going to be a cold case?
Just another name on a list.
Just another name on the list. That's how I feel.
The list of investigations impacted by Jennifer DePonzio is long. There's 61 of them. And in this internal memo, it says her mistakes caused a different homicide from 2020 to go cold. DePonzio interviewed a witness who actually named suspects, but she never uploaded the recording or wrote a report. Quote, "This information would have progressed the investigation that has since stalled and possibly lead to an arrest and a closure."
Did a top Phoenix police detective mishandle evidence in a large number of murder cases?
As we reported, the mistakes impact far more than unsolved cases. They're impacting 37 court cases.
Everybody is said, we're going to let this be the case that kind of directs, in some ways, what goes on the others.
Like this first-degree murder case, a judge currently holding hearings to decide whether or not to dismiss the charges for outrageous government misconduct.
For the last 6 months, this has almost exclusively been about Detective DePonzio.
Past convictions are also impacted. This notice of post-conviction relief was filed in August. It cites our reporting, and it says the court had no idea about DePonzio's past misconduct and mistakes, and we've learned more appeals will be coming. Now, back to Anthony's case.
I just really feel like how I was feeling, I was right. It's hurtful. I was hoping I was wrong, but I was right.
As the case grew colder, Anthony's family did two things.
Gone, and no one knows why. A Valley father believed to be murdered, found dead inside a car near I-17 in Glendale in January. That's about all his family knows about his death.
They spoke to ABC 15 just to keep it in the spotlight.
Still don't know a lot of things.
Then in September 2021, Portia Martin filed a complaint against DePonzio for a lack of communication. Again, the family had no idea about the mistakes or that she had gone on leave. Okay, so you filed a complaint. We asked her to read some of what she wrote.
She has been giving us limited information, and also I feel that we are getting the runaround with her.
The family didn't know it, but the complaint was dismissed. We showed them what DePonzio's supervisor, Sergeant Jerry Barker, wrote about their concerns. It says in part, since the murder, the family has called and gone to the news attempting to interfere in this case, and called numerous times attempting to get information and specific details. You write a complaint, and the sergeant says internally they're interfering with the case. But months earlier, he knows that she's failed to do her job in a pretty significant way. How does that make you feel? They're essentially starting to blame you when they already knew there were problems with their person.
As a mom, very hurtful. Because I always felt like, and I told, and I said, he may not have been a somebody to you, but he is a somebody to us. And I knew there was some shiesty stuff going on with his case because I could feel it.
Way to go, Mom. And we understand that. Everybody has a mother. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. These people that does these cases and sweeps them under the rug or doesn't investigate them, or they're not doing these people justice. These are people's family members that this happened to. You're going to hear at the end of this video an update that we have on the Johnny Edrington case. And for those of you that's kept up with you, it's going to be a shocker if it's true. Poor mother here. I feel sorry for her. She's wondering what's going on with her son's case, why they're not hearing nothing. And the other investigator knows that it's this detective's fault, but instead of blaming the detective or blaming anybody, blame anybody else you want to. It's not bad enough she's lost a son. He blames her because she's inquiring as to where the case is at, what's been done on it. Can you give me an update? He blames the mother for not being able to find the murder, or not being able to find it. It ain't unable to find it. They're not investigating it. They don't even care about it. It's about like another case we're going to talk about here in a little bit.
I mean, we're here now. We're almost 3 years later. I mean, what hope do you have?
At this point, I don't know. I don't know because so much has been covered up. So much has been lost. There's been so many lies.
So much has been covered up. So much has been lost. A son, a father-to-be, a brother. So many lies.
There's been a lot of deception.
A lot of deception. A lot of deception. Sounds like the Kentucky State Police they're talking about here. And the Johnny Edrington, Trooper Johnny Edrington case.
I'm investigator Dave Biscobing, ABC 15, Arizona.
Phoenix police did not directly respond to specific questions for Dave's report. Instead, a spokesperson emailed a statement simply writing, the Martin case is still an open and active case.
And there you go. And that's what they put. There's what they put. When a police department or Kentucky State Police wants to cover something up, they don't want something to come out. That's how they label it. Open and active investigation. That way it's not susceptible to open records requests. to nosy people, to investigators. Mom, I got news for you. This case here can be solved also. Your son's homicide can be solved. These cases can be solved, people. It just takes dedication. Somebody to look at them. On this Johnny Edrington case, sometime today, she's busy on another project right now, but when she's not, we're going to do an update on the Johnny Edrington case. Now, I know there's several of you that seen the videos on her channel, and some of you it may not interest. But this was somebody's son, somebody's father, grandfather now. And it was covered up. It was not investigated. It was covered up. For whatever reason, we don't know. But we just found out something in the last little bit that is shocking. That is shocking. That concerns this investigation and the Kentucky State Police. Now, I'm not going to post it on this channel yet. I'll post it on Sheila's because that's the channel we started off with and the one that we started off with the Johnny Edrington case. So be sure and go to Hatfield McCoy Museum Adventures. That's her page. And look at this update. If you think the Doug Harless case is a cover-up, if you think this case we're watching on TV now is a cover-up, if you think all these cases that we've talked about in the past are cover-ups, wait till you hear the update on the Johnny Edrington case. Thanks, guys. Please like, subscribe, and share.